All right, so this video is about using your graphing calculator to find the intersection. So these are still going to be solutions, but they're going to be the intersection points between two graphs, and we're going to use the intersection function on the calculator. So the nice thing about this method is that it works all the time, and you don't have to do anything algebraically. You can just enter what you see in the equation into the calculator. So we're going to do number 14 together. So here's my calculator, and I'm going to enter in negative x squared plus 2x plus 3 on one line, and then whatever is on the other side of the equal sign, you're going to put on the next line. So in this case, it happens to be a 0. That's okay. Sometimes it's got x's in it, sometimes it's got other numbers in it. One side of the equal sign goes in y1, and the other side of the equal sign goes in y2. So what we're going to do is really treat these like a system of equations and see where they intersect each other. So let's look at our graph. Now it's really hard to tell, but there's actually a line right here at y equals 0. You can't see it that well, but it really is there. So we see that there are two solutions because they're intersecting each other in two places. We're going to look at the table, and the table is always the nicest place to get it from if they're nice integer solutions. So to go to the table, we press second and then graph. So second and then graph. And here's our table. Now in this case, we're looking for where the two y columns equal each other. So we're looking where y1 equals y2. So we're going to go down, and once we find those, we want the x value that goes with them. So we look here, we have a 0 here and a 0 here. So one of my solutions is -1. So I'm going to write that right here. And my other solution is down here at where they equal each other again at 3. Those are my two solutions. Now, I want to make sure you understand it's not because these are zeros, it's because they're equal to each other. So sometimes you could have other numbers here. In this case, they happen to be zeros. Okay, so now I can actually sketch this. Here is my -1, and here is my 3, and my graph was opening down like that. Okay, so again, that was from a table. So if you have nice integer solutions, you want to look at the table. But sometimes they're not nice. So we're going to have to jump down here to number 22. All right, number 22 is a little bit different. So I'm going to clear this out. I got to clear both lines because I'm going to use y1 and y2. All right, so I'm going to enter one side of the equal sign on one line and the other side of the equal sign on the other line. And here's my graph. So here you can see they're kind of crossing each other. We're actually looking for the intersection points of those two graphs. And it's really hard to see what they are, which is why we're going to use this intersection function on your calculator. All right, so I'm already graphed. I already entered my two equations, so I'm going to second and trace. Second and trace. And I'm going to press 5 for intersection. And it will ask me first curve. Now, in my directions, I say just press enter. It doesn't actually matter which solution or intersection point we get first. So we're just going to, that cursor is on one of the graphs. It doesn't actually matter which one they're on. We're going to press enter, and then we're going to press enter again. And then it's going to say guess, and we're going to press enter one more time. Here is one of my intersection points, -0.25. Now, it doesn't even matter to me what that y value is because our solution is the x coordinate. So all I want to look at is that -0.25. So what the calculator is basically doing is asking, okay, you want me to look at the intersection between this graph and this graph? And you say yes. But the problem becomes when I have two intersections. So if you have graphs that cross in more than one place, we can't follow these exact same directions because you're going to get the same answer again. This time, we're going to have to move the cursor closer to the other intersection point. So I'll show you how to do that. And I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. All right, so second and trace, just like last time. And we're going to press intersect 5. See where my cursor was last time? It is definitely closer to that other intersection point. So now I'm going to just toggle over. And you can see how it's kind of jumping. And now it's much closer to that other intersection point. And that's what I had to do. So now it's asking, okay, you want right here, and we'll say enter. And now you can't really tell, but it jumped to the other line. And yes, we want that other line. And then it'll say, do you want me to guess around this area? And we say enter. And here's my other intersection point. So 0.66, and we'll round that to the hundredths. And again, we don't care what this y value is, we just want the solution. So sometimes your answers are going to be nice and you'll be able to find them in the table, and sometimes they won't be nice and you'll have to use this intersection function.